Senator Mary Landrieu of Louisiana joins me now from New Orleans. Senator, thanks so much. I know you've got a lot of preparations and a lot of people to deal with, but we appreciate your coming. What about the preparations and the change since Katrina? I know your brother, the mayor, has talked about this, but you're not going to be recommending that people move to large places, certainly not like the Dome again.
Well, Andrea, there have been so many changes since Katrina. First of all, there's been unprecedented cooperation between the federal, state, and local governments. This is not the same FEMA that showed up for Katrina. This FEMA is stronger, it's smarter, most importantly, and it's prepared and cooperative with our local officials. They've been on the ground for a week. President Obama has already talked with the mayor and the governor and all the parish officials that should be affected. You know, and the federal government and the people of the United States have invested billions of dollars since Katrina, and I think it's been a smart investment, Andrea, to make this part of the country more resilient. It's so important to the nation. We've got to keep this Mississippi River open and operating. We've got oil rigs that, you know, they may be temporarily shut down today, but they're going to be back up and running as soon as possible, pumping millions of barrels of oil to the rest of the country. So it's an important region for it to be strong and resilient. The federal government underinvested in it for decades. That is starting to turn around, and I think we'll see some positive results of that as the storm passes through.
And Senator Landrieu, this is a bipartisan concern. We understand now from our reporter Garrett Hake that Governor Romney has called, Governor Jindal called the governors of Phil Bryant of Mississippi and Robert Bentley of Alabama. So he has called the three governors, I presume from Tampa, from his location here, as he awaits, of course, the nomination later today and the acceptance speech on Thursday. So you've got both President Obama calling the governors, making his statements today, and Governor Romney projecting his concerns. Do you think that we can have our domestic politics and also deal with this natural disaster at the same time?
I hope so. I mean, I've been one of the leading fighters for disaster aid in the budget, and as you know, not everyone in Congress agrees with the way and how that aid should come down. But so far, we have enough money in the disaster account, if you will, and there was a bipartisan agreement. It was, some members wanted to scuttle it, but it held a bipartisan agreement to fund disaster aid over and above the general budget, which is the way it should be, so that governors, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, don't have to be scrambling around for offsets while the storm is bearing down. And that is the argument that I successfully made last year and was able to convince enough members of Congress and put enough political pressure to actually get it done that way. There were others that wanted to do it differently. So we're very happy there's money in the fund. We're happy that FEMA is a stronger, better, place. And, the cooperation is unprecedented.
Senator, looking forward, what more needs to be done? Does the Army Corps of Engineers have the plan now? Is it all as prepared and as rebuilt as it can be? What about the people who have still not gotten into homes and are still waiting for more relief since Katrina 7 years ago tomorrow?
Well, it's the building back from Katrina, Andrea, is going to go a long time. It's going to be probably another 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years. The difference between that storm and this is a hurricane where the levees aren't going to break. I mean, we're knocking on wood and saying our prayers and praying to Our Lady of Prom Succor, and the Corps of Engineers is on the ground. But what happened in Katrina was it wasn't the hurricane that got us, it was the multiple levee failures, and there was a massive flood like Noah's Ark. That is not going to happen this time. There may be some low-lying flooding, there may be some storm surge. We believe that the levee system will hold in the metropolitan area. Now, there are other parishes, Lafourche, Terrebonne, lower parts of Plaquemine, and other parts, St. Charles Parish, the North Shore, where we still need levee protection, which is why I led the effort successfully to tag some of that restore money so the taxpayers won't have to continue this massive investment. We're getting BP when they pay their fine to the federal government. That money is coming back to the Gulf Coast for levee protection, for wetlands protection, and again, not just protecting the people that live on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas, but for the benefit of the whole nation. So we're doing as much as we can to contribute locally. We're using that BP money smartly. We're going to get revenue sharing and then continue to depend on the Corps', portion of the Corps' regular budget.
Senator Landrieu, our best to you, to the mayor, to your constituents, to all the people of New Orleans and Louisiana. Our hearts are with you. Thank you so much.